What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I'm extremely happy to be back home in studio. I just don't think I'm a conference type of dude. It was nice to go see Dank and the Soy Father and everyone else, and I met a bunch of new people. I'll take away good, positive memories from it, but I'm always really happy to get home because, well, there's just too much news on the dance floor to cover, and Apex Legends has provided. I was thinking to myself, man, video game news has been kind of slow lately. I go out of town for like 2 days. Apex Legends Reddit is a dumpster fire. Everyone's fleeing BioWare. There's a Call of Duty guy today tweeting really bizarre stuff. Then we've got stuff going on with Rainbow Six. There's just so much. It's only 9 o'clock and I already have 4 video ideas. We might go Penta today? I don't know. But let me start you off with probably the craziest story, and that is the Apex Legends situation. Now, last week we covered, and I saw Angry Joe covered it, the Iron Crown Collection event, which essentially was just a 2-week event in Apex Legends to promote players to buy cosmetics. They had essentially a roadmap to where you could get an axe that would cost you about $200 US. And the only way you could get the axe is if you had achieved all the smaller items before that, and you had to use RNGesus to get many other items. It was a little too risky. Now, Apex Legends fans, I get it, all right? I'm not saying that you can't have microtransactions. It's a free-to-play game. I see this as the common defense, and I will admit that there is a section of the gaming community that is just never going to be happy, and I sympathize with developers who feel like this. However, these developers don't need to insert themselves into these scenarios. That's why you have PR teams. That's why you have community managers. Oh, wait, the community manager for Apex Legends was just as bad as this developer. I noticed a lot of news sources reporting that it was a developer that lashed out at the community, but it was not just some developer, it was a project lead. So after an insane amount of backlash to the latest Iron Crown collection event in Apex Legends, they did listen and they retooled things, and you have to give people credit for that. I know some of you will be saying, nah, the retooling was just as bad, and I could see how you'd make that case where you're selling the skins for like $18 or something absurd. However, if you wanted a particular skin and you didn't want to have to use a loot box to get it, this is probably a quote-unquote good deal. That kind of money for a skin, to me, is absurd, but I spend money on a lot of things that some people might think is absurd too, so who cares, right? I actually would have preferred that. Why not flood the store with $5 to $10 skins and let people get all sorts of them and make money that way? I'm pretty sure that's what Dota does. But nonetheless, they retool it, and they also issue a bit of an apology. This stems from not understanding your community. It's very clear to me that the way the team has responded and the way that they retooled the event was also just as bad. If you look at this, hey everyone, at launch we made a promise to players that we intend to do monetization in a way that felt fair and provided a choice to players. A core decision during development of Apex Legends was that we wanted to make a world-class Battle Royale. By the way, Battle Royales, they're done, right? I mean, Fortnite's still huge, but I just don't see anything else coming on the scene and pulling people away. But hey, who knows? Anyway, we've heard that you have spent a lot of time this week discussing the feedback and how we could structure the events in the future, and we're going to and changes we will make to the Iron Crown. To get right into it, here are the changes we're making. Starting 8/20, that is tomorrow, we will be adding and rotating all 12 of the event-exclusive legendary items into the Apex store over the course of the final week of purchase through regular legendary costs of 1,800 Apex coins. You will be able to purchase Iron Crown Apex packs for $7, by the way, $18 and $7. Now, it is still, in my opinion, a little scummy to be rotating the items in, because then you're going to create this, well, I'm not sure if I want it, but it's never going to be for sale again, so I have to buy it today. That's just good marketing, but it's a little scummy if you ask me. For future events, we will provide more ways to obtain the items than just buying Apex packs. A couple of things I'd like to address. We need to be better at letting our players know what we expect from the various event structure in Apex Legends. Over the last 6 months, we've been learning a lot about operating a live service free-to-play game, as if there weren't amazing examples already. Anyway, one of the takeaways from this week, beyond was mentioned above, is that our messaging for expectations need to be clear. This is a different event structure than the Legendary Hunt from Season 1 and will be different from planned upcoming events. Blah, 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 from Drew McCoy. Now, the community itself didn't love this reply at all. And you had Jay Fresh Respawn. He is the Respawn community manager, okay, dropping a response. But then you also have DKO5, a Respawn developer. But in fact, that Respawn developer is a project lead. And if you look through some of the replies to people on Reddit, they are unprofessional, to say the least. Now, I want to be clear, all right? These people had at some point in this thread received some pretty rough personal criticism that I don't believe was warranted at the time. However, they lose all sympathy when they are actively engaging and fanning the flames of customer unrest. In the case of DKO5, this is a dude, or a female, I guess, I'm not sure, who didn't need to insert themselves into this conversation. They are a project lead, but never needed to insert themselves into this conversation for any reason. You had the community manager who probably had to post it, but nonetheless, they posted exactly what we read. And then you can see they get really spicy. Community manager replying to completely abhor, I'm assuming they mean abhorrent, this meager attempt to walk back from backlash and immature. Well, you wonder why we don't talk to our community manager more. Talking about how your player base is full of butt hats and dongs in your apology post doesn't look good at all. You know, this is, of course, Jay Fresh replies. So it's fine for you to call us liars, full of poo and other personal attacks when we communicate an apology and update event, but we're immature when we call people out on it. Got it. Somebody said, here are some full games you could buy for $20 instead of spending it on Apex Legends. They reply snarkily, you should totally buy those games. Great games. This wasn't even close to the worst. As I'm told, Apex Legends and EA, Respawn Entertainment, EA are both looking into this. You can see DKO5 going way, way over the line. And I took the example and made sure I screenshot things, and I made sure I archived things, because if you look, it looks like DKO5 may have deleted. Did they delete? I think they deleted their replies. It looks like they did. Right? This. Yeah, it looks like they deleted it to me. But fortunately, there are plenty of screenshots all over the web. Apex, I was glad I waited. I was like, I bet you he's going to delete that stuff. It's just way over the line. There's no way. So if I'm missing it, I might be. But I am refreshing newest posts, DKO5. You see this? Let's see. He edited that 2 days ago, but he is now gone. Yeah, I think he deleted them. What were they? Well, here you go. You can see the response was downvoted 2,400 times. Here's DKO5 saying, hey, everyone, I found the dong I was talking about. Guess what? I didn't even read your comment except for the first sentence and last. This kind of garbage doesn't warrant a reply, but luckily for you, I already made a comment about it. Go find it. He also wrote this. I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete A-hats to developers, and it was pretty neat. I forged a bunch of long-lasting relationships from back then. Would be awesome to get back there and not engaging with toxic people or asking how high when a mob screams jump to hope is hopefully a start. They also wrote this. There is a wealth of data available on how monetization works in free-to-play games, and we ourselves have run tests by putting skins on sale in the store. The amount of people who spend is crazy low. Most y'all are freeloaders, parentheses, and we love that. And a change in price doesn't move the needle. Respawn community manager Jay Fresh, Respawn fired back at one Reddit user writing, quote, "You should work on your reading comprehension," saying, what I read was, quote, "Whales didn't buy enough Apex packs to make up for everyone else not buying, so we have to do something to get pretend goodwill." They reply, "You should work on your reading comprehension." He responded to another. So it's fine if you all call it. I hit that one already. DKO5 saying, I think I was calling gamers D's. I don't know. I had a spicy lunch. I was feeling it. The Iron Crown event drew masses of criticism across social media and within the subreddit, with users ridiculing Respawn and Electronic Arts, the game publisher, for, quote, over-monetizing and prioritizing money by exploiting players with overpriced in-game items. And an in-game item for an event, the Heirloom Axe, is about $200 in microtransactions. Backlash across Reddit and other social media platforms saw various developers and employees targeted. Now, this is the thing. If you look at, there are plenty of articles out there that are celebrating the way these developers acted. Really, there is. And, you know, I get it that, look, people shouldn't have to endure personal hits, you know, if they're trying to just cover for their game. The problem is these dudes didn't do that. They put in a post and then they came in and took things personal and responded in an extraordinarily unprofessional way. I wouldn't be surprised if DKO5, whoever that is, the project lead, isn't allowed to comment on anything on Reddit anymore. And their community manager really needs to think about, it's literally in your title. What DKO5 did was bad enough, but when your community manager is engaging in that manner, that, in my opinion, would be at least a strong reason to reconsider employing that person. Apex Legends producer calls players A-hats and Ds in Reddit thread. A Reddit thread in Apex Legends developer Respawn admitted its fairly expensive, complicated Iron Crown collection event had, quote, missed the mark. Has described into recriminations and more debate about the relationship between developers and fans. The thread, which announced the changes to the way players obtain legendary skins during the event, attracted comments from individual Respawn developer, including executive producer Drew McCoy, who in the course of the discussion called players A-hats and Ds and lamented toxicity in the community. I've been in the industry long enough. We hit that in reply to the user. You know, if you call them money-grubbing Fs, you know, I get that it's probably hard to ignore that, especially if you feel like you're not, but I don't care. You don't get the right to disparage your customers. You don't. There will be several articles that are like, "Man, the customer's not always right. Man, these developers are stunning and brave." They're not. They're stunning and they're stunningly dumb. All right. You don't kick the hornet's nest that is your customer base. And look, don't whine about being a free-to-play game. That was your choice. You could have put reasonably priced items out there for everyone to buy. And yes, some people would complain, but it wouldn't have been anywhere near as bad. Respawn Entertainment needs to strongly reconsider who they are allowing to represent them, as well as EA, given the fact that your game is waning in popularity and you don't and cannot afford any negative press. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to have 4, maybe 5 videos for y'all today, so make sure you check back to the channel often. We'll talk to you again real soon.